I saw the king drink a child's breath. That is the part my mind cannot erase. I am not a storyteller by trade. I am just a man who grew up in a small town where the palace wall was old, cracked, and always quiet at night. What I am about to tell you happened when I was 16. I am much older now, but the memories still sit in my chest like a stone. This is not a ghost story. It happened. In my town, the king was called Babadi. He was loved in public and feared in private. People said he had ruled for more than 40 years, yet his face never changed. His hair stayed black, his skin stayed smooth. Even when other elders bent and shook, the king stood straight. We were told it was wisdom. Some whispered it was luck. My grandmother said nothing. She only spat on the ground when his name came up. Children did not go missing often. That is important. When one did, the elders blamed sickness or wild animals. We believed them because believing was easier. Until the year my cousin disappeared. My cousin Sola was 8, thin legs, always laughing. He slept in our house during school holidays. One night, he wet the mat and went outside to wash it himself because he was afraid of being teased. He never came back. We searched till morning. We searched the bush, we searched the stream, we even searched the old market where nobody went anymore. Nobody, no blood, no sign. 3 days later, the palace announced a cleansing ritual. They said the spirits were angry and the king would restore balance. That was the first time I felt something was wrong. The palace ritual happened at night. Only men were allowed inside the inner yard. I followed my uncle because I was old enough to carry firewood and pour water. The moon was thin. The palace smelled like herbs and old stone. The king sat on a low stool. He wore white, but it was not clean white. It looked tired, like it had been washed too many times. There were drummers, but they beat slowly, not like celebration, more like a heartbeat. Then they brought in a child, not Sola, another boy, maybe 6 or 7. He was not crying. That scared me more than if he had screamed. His eyes looked empty, like he had already left his body. I wanted to run. My uncle squeezed my arm hard. "Don't move," he whispered. The king stood up. He did not touch the child. He did not cut him. There was no knife. That is why people don't believe me when I tell this story. He placed his hands near the boy's face, not on him, near him. Then he breathed in. The boy gasped once, just once, like when you wake suddenly from sleep. The king breathed again. The boy fell. No blood, no wounds, just a small body on the ground, still and light, like something had been taken out of him. The king straightened his back. His eyes looked clearer. His voice became strong when he spoke. "The land is calm now." That was when I threw up. They told us the boy was sick. They said his spirit was already weak. They said the king only helped guide it away. I did not believe them, but I kept quiet. People who talk too much do not last long in places like mine. After that night, I started noticing things. Children from poor homes disappeared more than others. The king called for rituals whenever his voice sounded tired. Each ritual ended with him looking younger. Old men around him aged fast. Some died suddenly. And the palace guards? They never had children of their own. One evening, my grandmother called me into her room. She closed the door and lowered her voice. "You saw it, didn't you?" she asked. I did not answer. She nodded anyway. She said he feeds on them, not their bodies, their tomorrow. She told me the story she was told as a child, that the throne was cursed, that long ago a king made a deal to rule forever. The price was simple. He would take what had not yet lived fully. Children. Not every day, only when his strength faded. That was why the rituals were spaced out. That was why there were rules about silence. That is why we send children away when we can. I thought of Sola. My chest burned. I tried to leave town. The night before I planned to go, palace guards came to our house. They said the king wanted to see me, personally. I knew then that someone had spoken. They took me to the same inner yard. The king looked at me for a long time. "You have strong eyes," he said. "You see too much." I said nothing. He smiled. "Do not worry. I do not need you. Not yet." That yet chilled me. He let me go. 2 weeks later, my grandmother died in her sleep. No sickness, no warning. The palace announced another ritual. I left town that same night. Years have passed. The king is still alive. People say he's blessed. People say he's chosen. People say the stories are lies told by bitter mouths. But sometimes, when I visit nearby towns, I hear the same whispers, the same pattern, the same long-ruling kings. If you ever live in a place where children vanish quietly and leaders never grow old, listen closely. Some power does not eat flesh, it eats futures. And once you see it feed, you can never unsee it. I have told this story many times in my head, but this is the first time I have written it down. The king is still alive. I know this because people still travel from nearby towns to bow before him. They say his rule is peaceful. They say no war touches his land. Children still disappear sometimes, not often, just enough for people to doubt themselves. When I pass through my hometown now, I do not stay long. I do not ask questions. I keep my eyes low. Some nights, I dream of that boy in the palace yard. I dream that he gasps, and I wake up gasping too. If you are reading this and thinking, this cannot be real, I understand. I used to think the same. But evil does not always look violent. Sometimes it looks like a king who never grows old.
Thanks for watching. Kindly subscribe, like, and turn on the notification for more amazing stories.